Good day. I am Joshua J.B. Esteban, and in today's topic in Calculus 2 is somehow interesting. Before I introduce to you our topic, let us play a little game called Guess Me. Take a look at these two clues. Can you guess our topic for today? I'll give you 5 seconds to think. That's right. Our topic for today is polar graph. Again, I am Joshua J.B. Esteban, and in today's discussion, we will discuss visualizing and describing polar graphs. But before we proceed, allow me to set our learning objectives. First, define the primary components of the polar coordinate system, including the pole and the polar axis. Second, plot points accurately on a polar grid given a coordinate pair, radius, and theta, including cases where radius is negative. Lastly, construct table of values and graph polar equations. Now, let us discuss polar coordinates.
This is a polar coordinate graph, which is specialized mathematical grid used to plot points and function based on the distance and angle rather than the standard horizontal and vertical xy coordinates.
In Cartesian system, x and y, we call the center the origin. However, in polar coordinates, this center point 0, 0 is called the pole. Next is the polar axis. This is the horizontal ray extending to the right from the pole, the positive x-axis. All angles are measured starting from this line. Concentric circles. Each circle represents a constant radius. As you've noticed in the graph, the innermost circle is r is equal to 1 or radius is equal to 1. The next is r is equal to 2 and so on. Radial lines. The straight lines radiating from the center represents different angles, usually labeled in radians or degrees, but usually in radians, like pi over 12, pi over 6, and so on.
In polar coordinates, the first coordinate is the radius, distance from the pole. It is the directed distance from the pole at the point. And the second coordinate tells us an angle from the polar axis to a line segment that contains the point. This angle can be in degrees or in radians. Every point will have polar coordinates of r or radius, which is the distance of the pole, and the theta or our angle, which is from the polar axis. Now, let us try to plot this point. We have 6 and pi over 3. As we recall, 6 is our r or our radius, and pi over 3 is our theta or our angle. The first step that we will do is to first find the theta or the angle. So our angle is located here. And note that our angle is pi over 3. Step 2. Move out the terminal side 6. When we say terminal side, this is the arm or ray that rotates from the center to the specific angle. Moving out along the side ensures your point is aligned with the correct direction. So, as we can see in our graph, we can visualize the point in a polar coordinate following the steps. We can easily navigate point 6 and pi over 3. Now, let's try to plot this another example. We have negative 5 and pi over 4. Plotting this point is somehow different from the first example. Note that when the radius is negative in a polar coordinate, the rule is to move in the opposite direction of the terminal side of the angle. We first find or locate our angle, which is pi over 4. So our angle is located here. Note that it is important to locate your angle so that we can plot the point accurately. Then, in step 2, move out the terminal side 5. So, as we can see in our figure, instead of moving forward toward the angle, we move backward along the line. Think of the angle as the direction you are facing. If r is positive, walk forward. And if r is negative, walk backward. Now, let us discuss the types of polar graph. We have circle. The orientation of a polar circle depends on the trigonometric function and the sign of the constant a. Equations using r is equal to a cosine theta align the circle horizontally, extending to the right if a is greater than 0 and to the left if a is less than 0. Conversely, r is equal to a sine theta aligns the circle vertically, extending upward if a greater than 0 and downward if a less than 0. In all cases, the absolute value of a represents the circle's diameter and the graph remains tangent to the origin. Next is a cardioid. A cardioid is a heart-shaped polar curve formed when the constant a and b are equal in the equation r is equal to a plus minus b cosine theta, or r is equal to a plus minus b sine theta. Curves using cosine are symmetric about the horizontal axis, pointing right with a plus sign and left with a minus sign. Conversely, sine curves are symmetric about the vertical axis, pointing upward with a plus sign and downward with a minus sign. In all cases, the tip of the heart always touches the origin. The rose curve is a polar graph defined by the equation r is equal a cosine times n theta, or r is equals to a sine times n theta, where the number of petals depends on the value of n. If n is even, the rose will have 2n petals as seen in graph A, where n is equal to 4 yields 8 petals. If n is odd, the rose will have exactly n petals, as seen in graph B, where n is equals to 3 yields 3 petals. The constant a determines the length of each petal, while the choice between sine and cosine dictates the rotation and symmetry of the petals around the origin. Limacon. The shape of a limacon defined by the equation r is equal to a plus minus b cosine theta or sine theta is determined by the ratio b over a. If the ratio is less than 1, the curve forms an inner loop. When the ratio equals 1, it creates a heart-shaped cardioid. A ratio between 1 and 2 results in a dimpled limacon which lacks a loop but has a flattened side, while a ratio 2 or greater produces a convex limacon that appears almost circular. Next is a lemniscate. A lemniscate is a figure 8 polar curve defined by the equations r raised to 2 is equal to a raised to 2 cosine times 2 theta, or r raised to 2 is equal to a raised to 2 sine times 2 theta. Cosine versions are centered on the axis. A positive coefficient aligns the loops horizontally in graph A, while a negative one aligns them vertically in graph B. Since versions rotate the loops diagonally, with a positive coefficient placing them in the first and third quadrant, graph C, and a negative coefficient in the second and fourth, which is the graph D. And lastly, we have a spiral. The Archimedean spiral is defined by r is equals to theta, where the distance from the origin increases linearly with the angle. The number of rotations is controlled by the domain of theta. A range of 0 and 2 over pi produces a single turn, whereas 0 and 4 over pi results into complete revolutions. As theta grows, the spiral continues to expand outward indefinitely from the pole. Let us proceed to the steps in graphing polar equation. Step 1. Construct table of values. Step 2. Graph polar equation. Now let us try to graph these polar equations. Graph the following equations and identify what type of polar graph it is. Number 1, we have r is equal to 4 cosine theta. Number 2, r is equal to 2 times 1 minus sine theta. Number 3, r is equal to 2 sine 3 theta. Step 1. We first construct our table of values. As you can see, we just have to utilize the theta or angles that is already given in the polar graph. Note that it is not absolute to always use the values of the polar graph because there are instances that the polar equation has a value of a theta. For an example in number 3, in which theta has a value of 3. Let us dwell onto that later. So as you can see, this is our table of values using the values of the polar graph. We have 0 to 23 pi over 12. I did not include 2 pi in the table of values because the radius of 2 pi is just the same as the radius of 0. Now, in finding our radius, we first identify our theta. In our table of values, we have 0 as our theta or angle. So we have theta is equal to 0. Then we substitute the value of our theta in our radius. So we have r is equal to 4 cosine theta, which we will have r is equal to 4 cosine times 0. Since cosine 0 is 1 and 4 times 1 is 4, therefore our first radius is equal to 4 if theta is 0. We input our radius in the table of values so that we can easily navigate if we graph our polar equation. Next, if theta is equal to pi over 12, using the same steps earlier, we have r is equal to 4 cosine theta, which we substitute the value of theta, we will have 4 cosine pi over 12 using our scientific calculator. Note that it should be in radians. Now we will have 3.86 if we round this to the nearest hundred two decimal places. The result would be 3.86. So, if theta is pi over 3, the radius is equal to 3.86. Now, we continue to calculate the polar equation in getting the radius using the same steps we did earlier. You can use your calculators to find the value of r or our radius and always remember to set it on radians and round it to the nearest hundred with two decimal places. Now that we calculated in finding our radius, this should be the values of our radius of our constructed table of values. The next step is we now graph our polar equation using our table of values to graph it accurately. And the polar graph is a circle. Next is we have r is equal to 2 times 1 minus sine theta. The first step that we have to do is to construct our table of values using same steps that we did earlier. Following the steps in finding our radius, we now have our table of values here. We can now graph our polar equation accurately using this constructed table of values. Looking at the figure, we can easily graph polar equation if we construct our table of values, and the polar graph is a cardioid. Lastly, we have r is equal to 2 sine 3 theta. This was the example I was discussing earlier. In this problem, it is somehow unique to other problems we already graphed because in this equation, we have to multiply 1 over 3 to pi over 12. With that, we have a total of 72 points in graphing this polar equation. In this process, we can graph our polar equation accurately and precisely. Using the same process of finding our radius, we now have our table of values. Notice the sum of the radius and theta are 72. These 72 are points that we need to graph. And then again, we have to multiply 1 over 3 to pi over 12 because our polar equation has 3 theta. Now, we graph our polar equation. And that should look like this, with 72 points and 0.5 as the value of each concentric circle. So this polar graph is a 3-petal rose. And that's it. I hope you learned something new and our learning objective is met. Thank you for listening and God bless.